Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Bratya Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Bratya Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Bratya Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premananda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We're reading from the 10th canto, chapter 87, text 41. The prayers by the personified Vedas. It can't be that dark. Yupataya evatena vayur etam anantataya. Yeah. Okay. Nog een keer. Is nou toch? Ja, it's on the box, no? Yeah, I don't know which melody this goes, so I'm trying something. I didn't get it together, but it sounded quite good to me. Jupataya evatena vayur antam anantataya. Tvam apiyat antaranda nichaya nanu Varana
Samaviyat Antaranda Nichayanusavana Kaivaradhyamsi Santivayasa Vaha Chak Chak Srutayas Tvai Palanti Atham Nirasa Nena Bhavan Vidana Can you do it better? Do it better. I'm going to the eye doctor next week, so maybe it gets better.
Jew of heaven, Pattaya, the master, Eva, even, Te, Yur, Na, Yayu, cannot teach, Antam, the end, Mantataya, of being unlimited, Tvam, you, Api, even, Yat, womb, Antara, within, Anda, of universes, Nichaya, multitudes, Nanu, indeed, Sa, along with, Avarana, their outer shells, K, in the sky, Iva, S, Rajamsi, particles of dust, Panti, blowing about, Vayasa, Saha, with the wheel of time, Yat, because, Srutaya, the Vedas, Tvai, in you, He, indeed, Palanti, bear fruit, Atat, of that which is distinct from the absolute truth. Nirasanena, by the elimination, Bhavat, in you, Nidana, whose ultimate conclusion. Translation, because you are unlimited, neither the lords of heaven, nor even you yourself, can ever reach the end of your glories. The countless universes, each enveloped in the shelves, are compelled by the wheel of time to wander within you. The particles of dust blowing about in the sky, the Shrutis, following their methods of eliminating everything separate from the Supreme, become successful by revealing you as their final conclusion. Please repeat. Because you are unlimited, neither the lords of heaven, nor even you yourself, can ever reveal the end of your glories. The countless universes, each enveloped in its shell, are compelled by the wheel of time to wander within you, like particles of dust, blowing about in the sky. The Shrutis, following their methods of eliminating everything, separate from the Supreme, become successful by revealing you as their final conclusion. Purport. Now, in their last prayer, the personified Vedas draw the conclusion that all Shrutis, by their various literal and metaphorical references, ultimately describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead's identity, personal qualities, and powers. The Upanishad glorify him without end, my dear daughter of Garga, his greatness encompasses everything about us in heaven, everything below the surface of the earth, everything in between heaven and earth, and everything that has ever existed, exists now, or will ever exist. The Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. To eliminate the meaning of this final prayer by the Shrutis, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur presents the following conversation between Lord Narayan and the personified Vedas. The Vedas said, Lord Brahma and the other rulers of the heavenly planets have not ever reached the end of your glories. What can we do then, since we are insignificant in comparison to those great demigods? And so that's the question of the Vedas personified. Even the demigods cannot find the end of your glories. So what can we do? Lord Narayan replied, no, your Shrutis are gifted with a more sublime vision than the demigods who rule the universe. You will be able to reach the end of my glories if you do not stop now. But even you cannot find your own limit. Well, that's the Vedas again. If that is the case, what do you mean when you call me omniscient and omnipotent? You get it till now? The conversation? Krishna says, well, you can say my glories. And they say, then they say, but you cannot even find your own glories. If that's the case, why do you call you omniscient and omnipotent? If you cannot find your own glories, then how are you omnipotent? We conclude that you possess those features from the very fact that you are limitless. Certainly, if one is ignorant of something that does not even exist, like a rabbit's horn, that does not detract from the omniscience. And if one fails to find such a non-entity, that does not limit his omnipotence. You are so vast that multitudes of universes float within you. Each of those universes are surrounded by 7 shells composed of the material elements, and each of those concentric shells is 10 times larger than the one within it. Although we can never fully describe the truth about you, we perfect our existence by declaring that you are the true topic of the Vedas. But why do you seem dissatisfied? Because in the Vedas, Srila Vyasadeva has described the transcendental existence of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan briefly. When he saw the need to elaborate on this description of the Supreme, he chose to concentrate on the subject of Brahman, the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, known as Tat, that, explaining Brahman by negating whatever is different from it. And that's called neti-neti. It's not this, 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 it's not this. And then at the end you have left over what it is. That's what is described here. Just as in a field a chest of jewels has been accidentally spilled, the jewels can be recovered by removing unwanted stones, twigs and refuse. So within the visible realm of Maya and her creation, the absolute truth can be found by the process of elimination. Since we Vedas cannot possibly enumerate every material category, individual entity, quality and motion in the universe from the beginning to the end of time, and since the truths concerning Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan would still remain untouched even if we describe all those things and disregard them. By the means of investigation, we never expect to reach the final definition of you. Only by your mercy can we make some attempt to approach you, who supreme, inaccessible, absolute truth. Okay, we're almost there. There are many statements of Shruti that carry on the work of Antan Nirasanam, the process of distinguishing the supreme from everything inferior. The Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, for example, states, a lot of Sanskrit, it is neither big nor small, short nor long, nor cool, in the shadow or in darkness, nor is it a wind or ether. It is not in contact with anything, and it has no taste, smell, eyes, ears, motion, potency, life air, pleasure, measurement, inside or outside. The Keta Upanishad declares, Brahman is distinct from that is known and is also from what is yet to be known. And in the Katha Upanishad says, Brahman is outside the scope of religion and in religion, pious and impious action, according to the rules of linguistics and logic. A negation cannot be unbounded. There must be some positive counterpart of which it is the negation. In the case of the Vedas, in case of the Vedas, exhaustive, their denial that anything material is absolute real. The counterpart is the Supreme Brahman, of the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, Srila Sridhar Swami says, the gods of heaven do not know your limits, O endless Lord, and even you do not know it. Because the transcendental words of the topmost Shrutis become fruitful by revealing you, I offer you my obeisances. Thus I worship you as the absolute truth, saying, all glories to you, all glories to you. Yeah, no, well, it's Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nevasesha Sunyavadi Pastachade Stanye Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Sri Vas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah, so I thought about a few verses from the Brahma Samhita. The Brahma Samhita is, although it's a very short work, but it explains all the philosophy in there. So from the Brahma Samhita we can get some understanding. Oh, I forgot the verse. That is... Anyway, so here it is said that Krishna is so unlimited that even the Vedas and the Shrutis, they cannot propound all his glories. So we're going to talk a little bit about Krishna's glories in order, that's what we're supposed to do the whole day and night, to either think about Krishna's glories or hear about Krishna's glories or think about Krishna's glories, or talk about Krishna's glories. This is the process of Bhakti Yoga, and it's also whatever anybody in Goloka Vrindavan is doing. They're always glorifying Krishna, and hearing about Krishna's glorification. So this one we all know, and it's actually a very nice one. We usually hear the Sanskrit, Angani yasya sakalendri fritti pasyanti kanti kalayanti chiranyaganti Ananda chinmaya rasat utsvala vigrahasya govindamadi pursam tamaham. So actually, I was reading the translation and thinking, yeah, the translation is actually very nice. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is full of truth, substantiality, and bliss. And thus he is full of the most dazzling splendor. So because he is full of Sat Chit Ananda, he is full of dazzling splendor. Any of the limbs of that transcendental figure can perform any of the actions of the other organs. So Krishna can do with any sense or with any of his limbs, he can do anything what the other senses or limbs can do. And we can do that also if we're in the spiritual world. We don't need our eyes to see, we can see with our ears. And then he eternally sees, maintains, and manifests unlimited universes, both spiritually and mundane. So the Brahma Samhita had been describing Krishna as a beautiful coward boy, more beautiful than millions of cupids, and at the same time he sees, he manifests and maintains unlimited universes. Both spiritually and mundane. So this little coward boy is manifesting all the universes and maintaining them, and So that is very wonderful about Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there is most of the Bhagavad Gita is talking about Krishna and how we can see him, and a lot is about how we can see him within the material world. From the bodies of water, he is the ocean. And from the fishes, he is the. And from devotees, he is Prahlad. That's what it says in the book. Of course, he's actually, what is mentioned, he's everything. Because at the end of the 10th chapter, after describing from seasons, I am, yes, flower-bearing spring. And then he says to Arjuna, but what is the use of all those details? Because just by a single spark of my splendor, I maintain everything. So most of the things which are described, or many of the things are described, are Krishna's external energy. Because we as conditioned souls, we go to Krishna through his material energy. In the beginning, we make comparison with the material energy in order to understand Krishna. But actually Krishna is beyond all this material energy, but through this material energy we will get an understanding of who he is. That's why in the beginning we don't immediately start talking about Krishna and Radha. The first step is that we have to have some faith that there is actually a God who is maintaining this material universe. Unless we understand that there is a God who is maintaining this universe and manifesting it and destroying it, we will never understand Krishna's pastimes. That's why it's in the second canto. Is that the first chapter? Anyway, it's first or second chapter. It's called how's it called? The beginning beginning of God realization. And there it is described that the sun and the moon are Krishna's eyes. The ocean is his. The ocean is his belly. And the rivers are his veins. So for Ayurveda, if you swim in the river, that's good for your veins. If you swim in the ocean, it's good for your belly. And then if you see the birds, what you can see of Krishna.
Artistic sense.
Right, Krishna's artistic sense. The birds are very beautiful, many different shapes, and they make many different sounds, and from that you can see Krishna's artistic sense. And what more? The mountains, what are the mountains?
Stuck to his bones.
Yes, his bones. And the grass and the trees, his hair on his body. But then it's said, but actually Krishna, he does not have, that's the universal form described, but Krishna doesn't have, that's not a real form of Krishna, because Krishna's form is spiritual, he's not material. But at the same time, Krishna's form is also, the material energy is also a form of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says in one purport, actually Krishna is everything. But at the same time, only his original form of Shyama Sundar is Krishna. So at the same time he's everything, and at the other time it's only his original form is Krishna. So in one sense there is only Krishna, and in another sense there is nothing is Krishna. That says in the Bhagavad Gita, Pashya me yogam aisvaram. Just behold my mystic opulence. Although everything is within me, and I'm within everything, and I maintain this material nature, still I'm not part of it. I'm separate from it. Just see my mystic opulences. So Krishna is not to be understood. It is impossible to understand Krishna, but still, but Vedeshu Dulabam Adulabam Atma Bhakta. Krishna is very hard to understand by the Vedas, but he can be understood by his devotees. By the devotees, Krishna is revealed. What's that verse? That's Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusam Naviyoganam Cha Vedeshu Dulabam Adulabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Adipursam Tamahamaji Jami. Lord Brahma said that Krishna is Advaita, that means he's only one. Krishna is everything and there's only one, it's all one. And Achyutam means he's infallible. Anadi, he has no beginning. Anantarupam, he has unlimited forms. Adyam, he is the beginning. He has no beginning, but he is the beginning. And Vedeshu Dulabam, no, Puranam, Purusam, he is the oldest person. And at the same time, he looks like an eternal young boy. And he cannot be known by the Vedas, but he can be known by devotion of the soul. Premanjana churiti bhakti vilochanena santa sadai varidaye sufilokayanti yam shyama sundaram achintya guna swarupam govindam adipursam tamaham. That's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I worship Govinda, the personality of Godhead, who is known as Krishna. He has unlimited, innumerable qualities, inconceivable qualities, and he can be seen he can be seen within the hearts of those whose eyes are anointed with the self of love. So only by love Krishna can be seen. So then Krishna cannot be seen by karma, by very good activities, by very nice performing all your activities, nicely in Varnashram Dharma, perfect Brahmana, perfect Kshatriya, perfect Sudra, perfect householder, perfect Brahman, all those things Krishna cannot be seen. And also by Jnana, the perfect yogis, they're completely renounced. They have no more attachment to this material world. They're full of knowledge. They all know the Vedas by heart. And still they don't know Krishna. Krishna can only know by devotion to him. And that devotion, once we develop that devotion, we can understand Krishna. So we begin to develop our devotion by the process of hearing about Krishna and chanting about Krishna. And then when we hear and chant and remember Krishna, then gradually we fall in love with Krishna. And then when we fall in love with Krishna, then he reveals himself to us. That verse, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasojiti Nakanshiti Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Matbhaktim Labate Param. That's once we come to the Brahman platform, which is the complete, that's what the Jnanis do. They come to the Brahman platform. They no more hanker, they no more lament, they want nothing, they don't complain about anything. And they look at all living entities as equal. And at such states, devotional service begins. That's where devotional service begins. Because devotional service is the highest. It's higher than jnana. It is higher than bhakti. Higher than karma. But so even if you come to first it is said by performing 100 lifetimes as a Sudra, perfect Sudra, then you become next life, you can become a Vaishya. And after 100 lifetimes of becoming a Vaishya, of being a perfect Vaishya, doing everything proper, then you can become a Kshatriya. And after 100 lifetimes of a Kshatriya, then you become a Brahmana. And after 100 lifetimes of a Brahmana, you can become Lord Brahma. But still, Lord Krishna is not there. Srila Prabhupada had this verse from the Brahma Samhita that Pantastu kota saptavatsara sampragamyo vayoratapi manaso munipungavanam sopyasti yat prapada simniya vichinta tatve govindamadi pursam tamahamayami. Only the tip of whose lotus feet, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of his lotus feet can be seen by the yogis who perform yoga by drilling the respiration, and then or by the jnanis that's what mentioned here, who try to come to the absolute truth by negating the mundane. That's been described here. It's not this, it's not this, it's not this. And so, and only they can come to Krishna by those processes after hundreds and millions of years. And then only they can see the tip of the lotus feet of Krishna. They don't see too much, they just see the tip of his lotus feet, which is already very special. So these processes of jnana and karma, they cannot bring us to Krishna very easily. They cannot bring us to Krishna. We can only come to Krishna by those who are Krishna. He himself decides who can come to him. And Krishna, he decides when we have devotion. If we have devotion, then Krishna decides that we can come to him. And in many classes, Srila Prabhupada says, it's so easy. But in other places, Prabhupada says it is very difficult because devotional service is even higher than the greatest jnani. So, but at the same time, this love can. This now Kali Yuga, and this Kali Yuga there is only one process which works, and that's the process of Bhakti Yoga. I found that interesting. When Srila Vyasadeva, he wrote all the Vedas, and still he was dissatisfied. And then he came to, and Narada Muni came to him, and he said, yeah, you spoke so much about material and mental things, and these people, nowadays, people will become, first of all, they cannot remember it all. It's so difficult. How to be a perfect jnani. You ever opened the Hari Bhakti Vilas or the Manu Samhita? Well, this is for jnana, for karmis, to do perfect activities. So that is so difficult. And then jnana, after become a perfect karmi, then gradually you can become detached from material activities and become a jnani. And then after many thousands of years of meditation, then you can get liberation. But even that is not bhakti yet. So bhakti is the highest, and at the same time, bhakti is given as the only process for Kali Yuga for the most fallen. So there seems to be. So this Lord Chaitanya came to make this bhakti very simple. He says, the Lord Chaitanya came. He actually didn't give anything which is not there in the scripture, but he explained the scripture, and he says, Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalo nascheva, 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 gatiram yata. And that this age of Kali, there is only one way, there is only one way, there is only one way. Now to repeat something 3 times in one verse, that means to stress it very much. And that is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. And which holy name? In the Kali Santara Upanishad, it is mentioned 32 syllables, this verse of the 32 syllables. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is, if you will go through all the scriptures, you will not find a mantra which is better than this mantra. So this is repeated again and again and again, and in Lord Chaitanya's teachings, the only thing that Lord Chaitanya personally wrote down is the Sikshastikam, and in the Sikshastikam it is described. The holy name is described as how to come to Krishna. There is no other way. Kalo dosa nitya radhyam asti eke mahaguna kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vradyet. This Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. But still, there is one good quality, that's simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So now, of course, we read the scripture, and because that's also necessary. As Srila Prabhupada also mentions that if you don't read regularly all my books, your chanting Hari Hari Bol will not last very long. He said you will go away. So we have to hear the scriptures, hear the books from Srila Prabhupada, and he will, and then chant Hare Krishna. Of course, Srila Prabhupada also mentions we have to preach this philosophy to others. So there is only Krishna, and we are Krishna's servants, and the servant, his only desire of a real servant is the pleasure of the master. He has no other desire. Prabhupada says if you serve for money, and if you don't get the money, then you don't serve anymore. He said that's not service. Actually service is very high level. Devotional service at a very high level. We only do it for the pleasure of Krishna. We're not even doing it to become purified, or to become happy, or to get liberation. No, we only do it for the pleasure of Krishna. But that is the highest level. So we, I was thinking a few days ago, it's like a contradiction, because I like Krishna consciousness. I like chanting. A little bit, but anyway, I like chanting. I like the deities. I like the Shastra. But I like. But it's not about I like. What does Krishna like? But at the same time, to come to that platform, to only serve Krishna for his pleasure, we first have to like him. That's sounds not too bad. In order to fall in, if you fall in love with someone, if it's real love, then you only want to do to please the other person, and you're not concerned about your own pleasure. But that's such a high pleasure. That's also the highest pleasure. But at the same time, that if we do something because we like it, we like kirtan, or we like cooking, that's good. If it's in connection with Krishna. But at one point, we'll have to become like the gopis. They go to Krishna. It seems when Krishna left in the rasa dance, they were so disturbed. But actually they were not disturbed for themselves. They were disturbed that they could not please Krishna when he left. That's at that stage we'll have to try to come to, that we only do, and at such a state there is also no more anxiety, and no more unhappiness, and no more hankering, no more lamenting. Everything is not there. There is a big peace. Srila Prabhupada, he mentions that for many hundreds and thousands of lifetimes we have been trying to find this peace. We are always disturbed. Our mind is always, what about this, what about this, what about her, what about him, what about the future, what about the past, what about my parents, yes, I want to go shopping, I want to make money, I want to have a house, I want to have this, there's no peace in the material world, and we all been trying to find peace, but there is no peace. The only time there is peace is, that Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakale Asanta Atta Eva. Well, Bhukti Mukti, that if you want liberation or sense gratification or anything, you cannot be peaceful. But you can only be peaceful, and we can only be peaceful if we want Krishna. If that's all we want, then we can be peaceful. And if we have any other desires besides wanting to please Krishna, we still have anxiety. It's a high level, don't worry. If we're not there, so sometimes I feel, oh my God, I'm not there for sure. But we don't have to worry about it, because Krishna is very eager for us to come to that platform of pure love. He's much more eager than we are. And because although Krishna is self-satisfied, he likes the devotion. He likes the devotion of his devotees. Actually, it said he goes wild for it. He has such a strong desire for the devotion of every soul. That's where he gets his pleasure, by love from his devotees. So he is there within our hearts in order to help us along. But we have to make the choice. Sometimes we say, oh, why does it take so long? And why doesn't Krishna, he could do it. But Krishna can do anything. But we have to do it ourselves. And that's why we have to make the choice yes, I only want the pleasure of Krishna, I don't want my own pleasure. And then Krishna reveals himself. The last verse of the, not the 11th canto, but of the Uddhava Gita, where it says, Krishna says to Uddhava, my devotee is the most intelligent, and my devotee is the most smart. Because simply by using this useless material body in my service, he can get my Swarup. And my Swarup includes my helmet with invaluable jewels. So we can get Krishna, who is the original form of Krishna, we can get by performing devotional service. That's why the devotee is very clever. Krishna's Swarup includes everything. We can get everything. We can get Krishna by performing devotional service. Bhaktimam ekyagraya, bhaktyam ekyagraya, sradatma priyasatam. Okay, we got it. But I know the translation. Only by performing unalloyed devotional service to me can one know me as I am. I am very dear to my devotee, who makes me the only object of their service. This devotional service is so powerful that it can even purify those who were born in the family of dog eaters from their low birth. So we can understand Krishna only by serving him, and this process, and that means Krishna becomes very dear to us. And it is our only goal of life. Krishna is our only goal of life. We have no other goal, and he is very dear to us. And even if we are born in the family of Europeans, Americans, we are just in general, the whole Western world and a big part of India too, we can still become devotees by this process of bhakti yoga. And that process has been made very simple, just by the chanting of the holy name and by reading the books of Srila Prabhupada. Then it has become easily obtainable. Okay, it's late. Oh yeah, 9 o'clock. Not too bad. Maybe your questions? Some questions?
I was just, sorry, I break all the rules. I was just thinking that it's interesting, the point you made, even if we are Europeans or Americans, and we always, all of us are brought up to think that that's a very high birth.
Americans.
And then Europeans, I'd be lucky. And now we realize how unlucky we've been in many ways.
Oh yeah, we were thinking that the Western world is superior to the rest. And now we found out that these Asians are a lot more clever than we are. I mean, if you hear the classes from the Indian devotees, some of them at least, my Lord, what so intelligent those persons. You know? I mean, it's unbelievable. If actually all the Indians would go back to India, then whole how you call it? Los Angeles, where you have where they do all the computers.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. Whole Silicon Valley will be finished. Yeah. Kartik Chandra was saying this, that he said all these brahmanas, or many brahmanas from India, their intelligence, and they're all going to America and to Europe and Belgium too, and to take the best jobs. Because the brahmanas, they are really intelligent. Kartik Chandra Prabhu, he was saying his grandmother knew the Srimad Bhagavatam by heart. I mean, just hearing it, the Srimad Bhagavatam by heart. Yeah, and she was speaking Sanskrit to him, and that's how he learned Sanskrit. And why these brahmanas, they knew all the scriptures by heart. So even if the Muslims would burn all the books, there would be no problem, because they could write them again. And for at least for me, to learn a few verses by heart, that's like such a great endeavor. If we talk, have we here somebody knows the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart? We go, wow. But then to know the whole Srimad Bhagavatam by heart, well, that's another story. So yes, no, we Westerners are not high births. The Indian is a high birth. That's said in the 5th canto that to be born in India is actually better than to be born in the heavenly planets. And the reason is that because in India the Shastras are there.
I had another. Oh.
Who are the personified entities? Like which Vedas are speaking to?
Yeah, I hear they are the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas, they personify the Vedas by
It's not the Vedas themselves who are speaking here.
Well, I think the Brahmanas are called the personified Vedas. They're the personification of the Vedas is eternal. It's not, of course, it's very, I always hear the personified Vedas are the Brahmanas.
Does that relate to some certain ragas in singing? And
Yes.
they're devotees, they're actually personalities. So I was thinking I always thought for now so many years that the actual Vedas speaking. And then I was thinking which Vedas?
Yeah, well, everything is personal. The Sudarshan Chakra is a person, the club is a person, the Krishnas. Actually, you know, I was reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam with the commentary of Vishwanatha Chakravarti that Krishna was sitting there in the tree, or he was stealing the clothes of the gopis, and he was there with Sudam and 4 or 5 others. I forgot their names. One is Kinkini, and one is the personification of Krishna's mind. The other is the personification of Krishna's energy. The other is the personification of Krishna's ego. I wrote it down because I was, wow, this is special. You have Krishna and you have the coward boys, and some of these coward boys are personifications of Krishna. I mean, it's impossible to understand it's impossible to understand that there is only one Krishna and that he has unlimited forms, and that all these unlimited forms are Krishna himself. And Krishna has 2 forms, Vibhinamsa and Swamsa. Swamsa and Vibhinamsa, his personal expansions and the living entities, which are also expansions of Krishna. They're also Krishna, but also not Krishna. Was it this verse? I forgot it again. It's in the Sri Upanishad, but it's a very nice verse. Those who see within all bodies the soul who is in quality not different from Krishna actually becomes the knower of everything. What is their anxiety or worry for such a person? And so if we can see that in any body there is the soul, and he's not different from Krishna. So if you actually see that, then you know everything, because everything is Krishna. But we see, oh well, this is Dita Prana, and he's like this and this, and that's Malini Kunjavasini, and she's like this and this, and this is Kamalavati, and she's like this, and and him I like, and him I doesn't like, and we go like this, and that's why we are the knower of nothing. But if we actually see they're all parts and parcels of Krishna, struggling very hard in this material nature, Mama Vamsa Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manashyastani Indriyani, Prakatistani Kashyati. All these living entities are my parts and parcels, and they're struggling very hard within this material nature with the 5 senses, which includes the mind. So we can see them struggling with their minds and with their senses, that we might see, but at the same time that's not the actual identity of the person. That's just his body. It's just his mind and body. We should, because this is the way how we actually can come to God consciousness, to see the living entities as parts and parcels of Krishna. If we cannot do that, we can never become Krishna conscious. But we know how difficult it is, because we are always prone to judge this one, that one. No, yeah, they are doing like this. They have this particular body, they have these particular activities, but that's not them. And the similar us, we might have these bad qualities which we find within ourselves, but it's not us either. It's not us. It's just this body. So if we come to this understanding that this body and this mind is not us, actually I am the servant of Krishna. Prabhupada said, finished. Krishna consciousness is very simple in one sense, but at the same time to actually see it, that is those who are on the transcendental platform, the miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, his mind and intelligence becomes steady. But one who is not on this transcendental body platform can neither have a steady intelligence nor a peaceful mind. How can there be any happiness without a peaceful mind? And this is just Brahma Buddha platform. This is not. But we can come to the Brahma Buddha platform just by understanding that Krishna is behind everything. Whatever happens to us, whatever happens to the world, it's arranged by Krishna. These horrible wars in Israel and in Russia, wherever they were finding, it's all desired by Krishna, otherwise it would not happen. And it's all for the good of us. Srila Prabhupada said, the devotee, he sees that even in the most miserable condition, this is Krishna purifying us. Sometimes we chanting, we get realizations, and the hairs in our neck stands up, and the voice chokes up, and wow, this Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. And we think, yeah, this is the mercy of Krishna, thank you very much. And then we go to the doctor and he said, yeah, Prabhu, no, he didn't say Prabhu, but your heart, yeah, some problem there, here I'll have 500 pills, swallow them, and we'll have three different operations in store for you, and and I think, oh, well, thank you, Krishna. But then, if you can see that both of them are Krishna's mercy, then you're always happy. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Devotee is always happy, because even in miseries, he sees this is Krishna's mercy on me to purify me. And actually, when Krishna told me about, this doctor told me about the heart which was not beating properly, then I was thinking, I'm not going to wait to become serious till I'm 80 or 85. I better do it now, because I might not live another year, But I'm still living. But I'm more serious now. So that was Krishna's mercy. I can see that now.
Are you still taking your pills?
No, of course not. These pills, they gave me a thyroid problem. First of all, these pills will give you irregular heart, which I had already. Then they gave me thyroid problems. Then I got pills for the thyroid. And then the pills for thyroid gave me suicide. I felt like committing suicide, so depressed I became. So I said to the doctor, I'm not going to take this stuff. He said, yeah, but then you're going to die. I said, well, I'd rather die than become depressed. Anyway, so I dropped all the pills, I forgot about the doctor, and I started chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, I'm like fit like a kivit. Well, not really, but I can chant all day, so that's fit enough. So whatever happens, a devotee sees it as Krishna's mercy. Well, I'm not saying this too hard, because please don't do this, please don't do that, please, I have so many things with Krishna should not... But the devotee, he is actually very happy whatever happens to him. Yeah, that's very difficult.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we read in Srila Prabhupada's books, that's how it is. Because our mind often says, yeah, but this, no, come on. You know, I can see it's not like this, and I see so many devotees not like that. But we should not follow our imperfect senses and our imperfect mind. We should follow what Srila Prabhupada writes in books, and believe that's the truth. And then we have to try to understand it, how it's like this. By Krishna's mercy, we'll get some understanding how it's like this. Otherwise, we will remain in material consciousness. Which means I like this and I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. And as long as we are on this like this, don't like that. So we have to come to like hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna. That's what we have to start liking. That's the only. What is the result of chanting? More chanting. What is the result of reading? More reading. Because there is nothing more. It's nothing nicer than being Krishna consciousness. Like Nandu Kumar, he always says, Krishna consciousness is bliss, Prabhu, bliss. And the karmis are all crazy. The karmis are all crazy. But anyway, yes, Prabhupada actually indirectly or even directly, he doesn't say, he does say that. Anybody who doesn't become Krishna conscious, he completely wastes his life. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Prabhupada ki.
Prema Siddhi Ananda ki.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Your father was
No, my father was a surgeon.
surgeon.
Not the house surgeon. My mother worked as a surgeon, vascular surgeon.